Here to respond to the letter is the Republican presidential nominee, Donald Trump himself, joining me right now on the phone. Mr. Trump, thanks so much for spending the time and joining us this morning.
Good morning, Maria.
I want to get your take right away off of this 50 national security experts letter. How do you respond to this, that they're saying you're calling you dangerous and that you're going to put the country at risk?
Well, I respond by saying that I wasn't using any of them, and they would have loved to have been involved with the campaign, but I wasn't using. I had no interest in using. Look where the country is now on national policy. Look what we are in defense. Look where we are. Look at the mess we're in, whether it's the Middle East or anyone else. And these were the people that have been there a long time, Washington establishment people that have been there for a long time. Look at the terrible job they've done. I hadn't planned on using any of these people. I guess for the most part, I haven't even spoken to any of these people because I like to speak to a new group. The old group was not doing it. Take a look at the Middle East. Take a look at the problems that we have. And the last people I want to use are the people that have been doing it for the last long period of time. So and you know, they don't feel relevant because of that. And they form a group and they go out and they try and get some publicity for themselves. And they hope that somebody else other than Trump wins because that way they can get a job.
Yeah, I think you make a really good point because that is exactly what the people are fighting against, this elitism, something that you have squarely put on the front of the table here. Let me get your take.
And Maria, this is the way I won in the primaries.
Yep.
I mean, I won the primaries by fighting all of these insiders, and people are rejecting the insiders. And you know, I got 14 million votes, and people are which is the most ever in the history of the primary system for the Republicans. And you know, frankly, people are fighting exactly what these people are doing.
Yep, and congratulations, by the way. We were at the convention watching you and the bump that you got right after the convention. But here we are 2.5 weeks later, and you have dropped in the polls, Mr. Trump. What's your plan to take control of this and get back to where you were?
Well, I think it's just, you know, steadiness, and it's just doing what I'm doing. I'm getting massive crowds. In Detroit yesterday, you know, they thought maybe you'd have 100 people. You know, it was an economic speech, and it was a closed speech, and they'd call every hour and say, could we have another 100 more? Could we have another 500 more? And they ended up with close to 2,000 people, and a lot of people standing outside trying to get in. And that's standard. I mean, that's just that's just sort of an inner speech, but that's standard because, I don't know, the crowds we're getting are tremendous. So I don't know what that indicates, but it's got to indicate something good. Every arena's sold out. We're having 15 and 18 and 20,000 people, and that's not even big. So, you know, something's going on out there. We'll find out on November 8th.
Well, one of the cruxes to your plan is this 15% corporate tax rate. Right. You have to believe businesses are going to start investing in their companies and in people with that kind of allure of 15%. Let's talk about how you pay for your tax cuts, Mr. Trump, because, you know, the Committee for a Responsible Budget is saying that it's going to cost $10 trillion. How much economic growth do you think you could actually affect with this low tax rate for business as well as for individuals?
Well, I think we'll go very substantially. Right now, we have no growth. The country is stagnant. We have the worst in, you know, many years. I guess 1949 or 1947, right. And you know, many years, and we have no growth whatsoever. If China goes down to 1%, you'd see a well, I don't think they're capable of going down to 1%.
Right.
But we're at a 1% level. China goes down to 7%, and they have a problem.
Right.
So we have no growth. So once you get over that, then you have to do something. And what we've done is a very, very large and really cutting tax cut, and for the businesses and for people, by the way, for everybody, but for businesses in particular, and the middle class in particular. And I think it's going to really push the economy forward. And I think it's going to push it forward big league. And by the way, trillions of dollars that is right now at least $2.5 trillion, could be $5, is outside of the country. They can't get their money in. That money's going to come in. There'll be a 10% tax to pay on it, and that money will come roaring in, too.
And you've been talking about that money overseas for a while, throughout the whole primary season. Let me ask you about unveiling some names of people that you are thinking about considering, Mr. Trump, because a lot of people believe that that would really resonate to anybody who is skeptical of you today and just not sure. They like what you're talking about in terms of immigration. They like what you're talking about in terms of taxes, certainly on the business side, and yet they're just not sure yet. Would it be helpful to you to start telling the world some of the names that you're going to surround yourself with. Would that be helpful? And is that something that you're planning after Labor Day?
Well, it is, and we're waiting till September, and we've got great names, and you know some of them, you understand, and we have some tremendous names, and these are people that are current people, not people from the past, like you just mentioned before, about the list.
So you will reveal that after September, then?
Yeah, I am. I'm going to reveal both economically, which, you know, were very instrumental in helping us with what we did, and it's been reviewed very, very strongly by a lot of people, Maria. A lot of people are liking it a lot. We have to do something. Our taxes are too high. We're one of the most highly taxed nations in the world. We have to do something. And so we're going to be revealing out very shortly a list, probably in September.